more, which is the whole big Australia thing, which we've kind of already touched upon. So basically, yeah, look, Treasury negative net overseas migration this year, negative next financial year, back to 90 something thousand year after that, and then back to big Australia. So back to pre-COVID, back to big population growth, back to traffic jams, back to more expensive rents, back to low productivity growth, back to low wage growth.
Don't sound too excited. Like.
Well, I'm just saying that was the empirical evidence of the past decade.
Yep.
Anyone who lives in the city of Melbourne knows it. The economic data doesn't lie, but unfortunately, the Australian Treasury wants it back.
Well, so, business lobbies want it back.
No, the Australian Treasury does too. Yeah.
Right.
So unfortunately, the RBA has flipped. The RBA is basically now starting to caution against it because they want wage growth. Whereas Treasury is still out there saying that, big levels of immigration are good. We need to return to it. So that's anyone who's been reading macro business knows have been hitting the issue pretty hard in the last few weeks, and that's why, because I think this is the current fight to not go back to a stupid policy that didn't serve us very well.
It just doesn't sound like it's going to be politically that favourable anyway. Like, I understand there's obviously Treasury and the business lobbies are on side for it, but it doesn't feel like anyway that, the general public, unless something happens where high immigration is the answer and it's so obvious that it needs to be, the tap needs to be ripped back open again. I don't know, I think going to take?
I think you're too close to the problem there, Tim. You recognise the problem and have been there for years.
Yeah.
So whereas I think my personal view is that, look, the average person in the street will take at face value what the government of the day is telling them, and if they decide to tell them that we need this employment, and the Treasury's saying it, there's a whole bunch of it. We're employing all these economists out there, and they're telling us to turn it back on again. So it'll probably be good for me. So I think,
and I don't want to give many ideas, but the government can always use a scare tactic. They can say we need to get the immigration back to keep inflation down, otherwise mortgage rates have to go up.
Yeah,
and that could be used as a scare campaign, because we know that there's nothing Australians love more than rising property prices, and nothing they're more scared of is rising mortgage rates.
And the other thing is they don't have to admit it as well. I mean, that's the other thing is we've seen a lot of, especially in the Howard years, and even in the last few Abbott, Turnbull, Morrison years, is that you'd be really harsh on refugees, and maybe you're really harsh on whatever quarantines or whatever you pick something that you want to be really harsh on, and make that the big. Everyone's watching this thing over here. That look how harsh we're being this, and we're not letting these ones in, and all that type of stuff. And in the meantime, you're just like through the back door, you're just funneling as many people as you can.
Airports are chockers.
Yeah, and so that's a bait and switch. Is I'd say. That's probably my baseline. Is that at the moment, and I guess why I was quizzing Leith, and as we spoke before, is coming to that investment part, is that we really don't know what's going to happen at the moment. The stated thing is they will turn it back on again. As I said, you're trying to build up momentum for this. No. Look, everything's actually going quite well. Will you build up enough momentum for that? Maybe, but usually what happens when vested interests and their money meet good policy is the vested interests
can win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So